Lisa's a girl, he is a corpse. Can we make it any more obvious? They are in love. That's so cute. Lisa Frankenstein was directed by Zelda Williams, who has done shorts and some music videos. Check out our IMDb page for the full list of her work. And written by Diablo Cody, who did Juno and You Hit Me Once, I Hit You Back, You Give a Kick, I Give a Slap. I'm pretty sure I screwed up the lyrics, but Jennifer's Body is what she did, and man, what a goddamn great movie this is. This deserved to do so much better at the box office than it did. You're killing people. No, I'm killing boys. And also, Amanda Seyfried, however the fuck you say that. Honestly, delight. A delightful movie. Also, it shows Megan Fox at the peak of basically her ditzy powers. That being said, yeah, Diablo Cody wrote Jennifer's Body. She also did some other movies. You can check out our IMDb page, but I was looking forward to this because it has Kathryn Newton as Lisa Frankenstein. If you're wondering who Kathryn Newton is, well, remember the Paranormal Activity movies? Yeah, she was in that. Remember the girl that was in Paranormal Activity 4? You know, the one where it abandoned all pretense and they just said it's not based on a true story anymore. We're just going to have these characters where it was based on a true story, but in a whole nother universe, except it's kind of in the same neighborhood, but kind of not, and it's weird. Yeah, Kathryn Newton starred in that, and she also was in The Map of Tiny Perfect Things, which was great, and made me cry, because it was pretty emotional. She was really good in that. She was also in the Ant-Man movies. I assume she was in all of them. I didn't actually see any of the Ant-Man movies, but I like Kathryn Newton. I didn't get a chance to see Freaky yet. Have to check that out, but I thought she was delightful in the fourth Paranormal Activity movies. She actually showed some promise. She was pretty much the only standout there. Fun fact about Paranormal Activity 4 before I get back to Lisa Frankenstein, that is, the father and the mother actually were married in real life. And the father was Mr. Henderson from The Mummy. He also passed away a year after Paranormal Activity 4 came out. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, lad. Let's get back to this. Lisa Frankenstein with Kathryn Newton as Lisa. In case you kind of couldn't guess that, I really don't know what to tell you. It's set in 1989, 10 years before Prince said we were going to party like it was that particular year, and is dripping with 80s atmosphere. Just the big hair, The Cure, the band that actually could cure you emotionally, and also, it has When in Rome, The Promise. And if that's, you might not actually recognize it by that band and by the name of the song. When you actually type in When in Rome, The Promise, you will recognize the song. And it starts off with that. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Lisa Frankenstein is, basically, I'm going to give you the non-spoiler version as much as possible, dive into stuff about the trailer, and then get to, the movie proper. So I was able to see this as a Regal mystery movie showing. It actually comes out this Friday. I was actually going to go see it this Thursday, but happened upon the showing, and good. I don't have to do a double feature. I can stay home and stay away from people. So yeah, Lisa Frankenstein, basically, it's Lisa. She has fallen in love with a boy. It's basically a corpse. Has been dead for quite a while. She's a bit of an eccentric individual, has dealt with some tough stuff in her life. She has a father, a stepsister, and an evil stepmother, played by the incredibly gorgeous Carla Gugino. I just have to say, I don't know how she is in her 50s and still looks so great, and she plays a great bitchy stepmother. That's pretty much it right there. Dripping with A's cheese, dripping with ridiculousness. It is so delightfully stupid that you couldn't help but laugh. And I did laugh. I laughed a ton. I had great fun with this. If you try to dissect the movie, ironic for something that involves a corpse coming back to life and being pieced back together, where you pick up the pieces, this movie wouldn't make all that much sense. But if you take it as it is, an homage to, 40s, 50s, up to the 80s, silly, gooey at times slashers, monster movies, whatever. It's a rom-com that's like Warm Bodies, except this is good. I didn't really care for Warm Bodies. That one just didn't quite coagulate to me. I probably need to go back and rewatch it at some point, but this is like Warm Bodies with an 80s flair and good writing. Diablo Cody deserves a whole lot of respect, and again, Jennifer's Body deserved a whole lot more love than it got. This movie's 15 years old. I was in my 20s when this movie came out. How fucking dare you pass by time? How dare you? How fucking dare you? So yeah, Lisa Frankenstein. Lisa basically is falling in love with a boy. He comes back to life. And then she, realizes that maybe this is meant to be. But it's kind of gross because he's a corpse. He's been dead for quite a while. Also, there are some really good set pieces in this. In fact, it almost doesn't necessarily feel like a live world. It feels like a series of set pieces, but in the best way possible. Not necessarily like some independent horror movies or even low-budget horror movies or even modest-budget horror movies. I would imagine the budget for this is probably between $20 to $30 million. The sets actually work, and it has that 80s feel to it. It just really has that delightful zip and just pizzazz to it. And yeah, okay, does every single joke land? No. The PG-13 rating, I think, maybe hurt it a little bit, even though you kind of understand, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, this is rated R. Maybe they were worried it wasn't going to do, yeah, maybe I will marry this movie, shut up. But Jennifer's Body being rated R, I think, helped it, also hindered it at the box office. I think this could have done with a R rating. It might go to a R rating when it comes out on streaming, and I kind of hope they do that. You got to be interested to see what they cut. Is the movie absolutely perfect? No. Again, if you dissect some of the stuff as far as logic and how people were able to get away with certain things, and how, even though this is in the late 80s, where they did a lot of coke and voting for Ronald Reagan, you would wonder how the hell anybody was able to get away with this, even though there's no internet, and you could just seemingly leave the wrestling territory if you were Matt Bourne in Georgia. That's a deep cut for wrestling fans. The whole point is, Catherine Newton is a delight. I love her. She's goddamn great. She pulls off the 80s looks very well. And the creature, the boy that comes back to life, Cole Sprouse, he was in 5 Feet Apart, which I need to go back and revisit, even though that movie's really sad. The stepsister, Taffy, Lisa Soberano, who's great, magnificent in this, honestly, is somebody that means well. She's a good stepsister, but she's also kind of a ditzy, crazy, just out there, like, valley girl, so to speak. But she does love her stepsister. And then Jenna Davis is also in this, who played Megan. You know that movie that got such a viral marketing campaign and came out almost a year ago, just over a year ago, and wasn't all that good? Yeah, she was in that. You can tell it's her, and she was all right in this. Carla Gugino did a good job here, but it's mostly about the camaraderie, the stuff between Cole Sprouse and Catherine Newton, and they pulled it off really well. It has a lot of just delightful energy to it. I really had a great time. There's one funny line during this when, during the beginning, where Taffy's talking to Lisa, and she says, are you seeing anybody? Because, she just moved to this town after a certain thing happened. I'll talk about it in the spoilers. And she said, oh, are you seeing anyone? Oh, there's this guy I like or whatever, but, oh, does he play sports? No, he doesn't really play sports. He's cerebral, and she says he's in a wheelchair, and I don't know why the hell that got me. I don't know why that made me pop, but it was just so funny. And, again, the camaraderie between Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse is just great. I'm going to get into spoilers. It is out this week. Please check it out. It is absolutely 100% great, even with its flaws. Bit of logic loopholes. A lot of logic loopholes. But it's fun because it is a love letter to 80s, 70s, 60s, these monster movies, the rom-com stuff. It's just a mishmash that really works well. The crisp writing from Diablo Cody and the great performances by Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse work out well. And even the guy that plays the dad, whose name escapes me right now. A lot of people in this cast. A lot of good stuff, but really, really enjoyable. Great set pieces. It even has enough violence for a PG-13 rating, but an R rating would have really helped this. Nevertheless, it's in theaters in a bit. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, yeah, Lisa's mom got killed by an axe murderer, seemingly. We see that in a flashback. And kind of a funny flashback. I recognize the mother. I swear the mother was Kim Cattrall. I don't think the mother was Kim Cattrall, but she looked like her. And then we find out that, Lisa has tended to this guy's grave. And basically, we don't know much about this guy. She puts like a rosary bead, like something, or, you know, a necklace that her mom gave her. And she wishes she was with him and that kind of stuff. Because she's really depressed. And also, she was at this party where she ended up getting drugged and felt up by one guy that was really, really creepy. That'll come back to play later. There's also this greaser biker. Well, not necessarily greaser, because greaser's in the 50s. But he's a well-meaning, you know, nice guy. And Lisa clearly likes him. But there's obviously going to be something that's going to lead a little bit later to something very bad happening to that man. I did kind of like the Janet name for Carla Gugino. Damn it, Janet. That was good. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. I bet, never mind. Let's just move on from that. Basically, from here we find out, yeah, Carla Gugino, really evil stepmother. Very evil stepmother. And they, you know, she kind of pokes and prods Lisa about the fact, oh, your mother got murdered and that kind of stuff. Even people in the school know that. And some are cool with it. But Lisa is kind of not necessarily coming out of her shell. Hell, she was a mute for a while. Then Cole Sprouse shows up as the creature after she said, I wish I was with you. And gradually he gets, you know, more and more whole. This lightning storm, this crazy storm caused it. It was this green lightning. Go green lightning. You're resurrecting a man named Cole Sprouse. Green lightning. Go green lightning. Now, she has to basically kind of ingratiate him back in society, find out more about him. Because we don't know much about this guy. There is one good scene during a little bit later when he is kind of, you know, he's kind of showing that he can do some, play some music. And a funny thing that he does with Carla Gugino, where he had heard her being a raging bitch to Lisa. So he spit up a worm that was in his mouth, because he's been dead for so long, into her Peaches and Cream, which I believe was an R&B song. Trying to remember who the fuck sang that. Whoever sang Peaches and Cream, let me know in the comments, please. There's like 5 groups popping into my head, 5 R&B groups. She gets all grossed out. She's upset because now she's having to repair this window that Cole Sprouse walked through, this creature walked through, and all this crazy stuff. Now is blaming Lisa. She's going to put Lisa in an institution, and then Cole Sprouse beats her over the head with a sewing machine that Catherine Newton just happens to have in her closet. And there's this funny montage a bit earlier where she gets him into a bunch of clothes, and then gets him into something. I think it was a Violent Femme shirt. That was a nice little tribute there. But he hits her over the head, Carla Gugino over the head with a sewing machine. So from there, they basically are going to take apart from her. He actually takes her ear off because he's missing an ear. He's also missing a hand. And Lisa stitches it to him. And even though he will cry and have, smelly tears because formaldehyde and all that, he has his ear. We can't really figure out how to, get his these new body parts to work. There's also this tanning bed that the stepsister had used that she lets Lisa use whenever she wants, and she uses that. Even puts little goggle things over him like they did in Final Destination 3, which I need to rewatch at some point because God, I love Final Destination 3. That death scene in the weight room and the tanning bed scene. The tanning bed scene is my favorite one besides the freeway. I don't get behind a logging truck because of that. Nevertheless, Lisa ends up getting him more back together, and then that boy that was a creep and felt her up, her old lab partner, she gets a note, in his locker, leads him to the cemetery, and then the creature shows up. They get his hand cut off, the right hand, red right hand, and then he's dead. After they've dumped Janet's body in a open grave. It's a condemned graveyard, so nobody apparently is aware that the smell of rotting flesh is coming from this condemned graveyard. So she stitches a hand onto him. And then there's this great REO Speedwagon thing where Catherine Newton actually shows she has some good pipes and sings pretty well. Skips over quite a few of the lines of REO Speedwagon's I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. I forgot what she started biting for. I think I screwed those lyrics up. But that was pretty cool, and that was actually a sweet moment. I was like, what? This is actually pretty good. I do also want to shout the opening animated part where it almost seemed Coraline, Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street also with how creepy it is, but Nightmare Before Christmas, Coraline especially, good stuff. A bit like 9, except better writing here. 9 was more of a short film concept. So, bodies are piling up. Police start to suspect stuff. And, the stepsister's upset because her mom has disappeared. No one knows what's going on. Nevertheless, what ends up basically happening is, she gets him together, more together and stuff like that. She doesn't want to die a virgin. Well, then it turns out that he actually can't do anything because, after so many years, he either was a eunuch or something. Again, we don't know that much about this guy. He has hand cut off, and he doesn't have a dick. So maybe he was an adulterer. I'm guessing that. But he's also an excellent pianist. So, that guy that ends up, that guy that, Lisa liked, ends up actually banging the stepsister. Not in a bad way. They like each other. He cares for Lisa, but not in that way. And then the creature busts in because he doesn't want her to die a virgin. He gets an axe. He cuts the guy's dick off. And we see a silhouette of it flying away, and it flies in the trash, and he picks up the trash and takes it out after Lisa won't let him kill the stepsister. And then she puts it together. She stitches it on him. And then they have it. And then she realizes they're going to get caught, so she uses a tanning bed basically to fry herself to death to kill her. And then, he hasn't said a thing, by the way, this whole time. He hasn't said a thing. He's grunted. Actually, Cole Sprouse really showed a lot of really good expressive, facial expressions here. But what he ends up doing is setting it, the thing gets set on fire, all this stuff. It's terrible. Lisa's dead. The evidence is all burned up. And then he suddenly is speaking in the next scene. It's like an epilogue. He's reading poetry. And there's Lisa all wrapped up like she's a mummy nun. And then she opens her eyes and we smash cut to credits. Yes, the movie is silly. Yes, it's stupid. Basically, if you, again, go through any of it, it's pretty stupid. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I had great fun watching Lisa Frankenstein. It has its flaws, but for the pure entertainment factor, I'm giving it an A+. Honestly, the movie skewers more towards an A-, so I could just end up giving it an A. But it's my channel. I'm going to do what the fuck I want. But yes, Catherine Newton, delightful in this. It was great. It was great shit. No, it's not perfect. I can see people hating this, but I had great fun. A+ for the entertainment factor. Agree, disagree what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.